You're probably underestimating how easy it is to generate this amount of money because, we're all used to these really archaic methods of like having to work 16-hour days to hit 50 grand a month. But if I could summarize this video in like the next 10 seconds, it would be that all business models, because of what's happening with AI, all business models are leading back to lifestyle businesses. AI lifestyle businesses where you sell your expertise and some done for you offer on the back end if you want. You sell it in packaged in a premium offer, so highly priced. And three, you have AI handle the operational burden of that business in very simple terms. You have AI handle all the boring stuff that you don't want to be bogged down by so that you can, number one, make more money, significant amounts of revenue, as we're talking about here. You don't got to be stuck at the 10, 20K months. And number two, so that you can live a beautiful life, working 2 hours a day, working from wherever you want. Like the thing that they sold you when internet businesses came around. Okay, but we're actually there now. Because what had happened is would start an internet business. I know I started like 4 of them. You'd start an internet business, and then you get to a point where you're making some sort of revenue, but then you realize that you just worked yourself into this hard space of like, oh my God, I have to keep working. I can't actually take time off. And then if you do have the guts to take the time off, you don't you don't make any money. Even if it's like some sort of subscription product or subscription offering, like you don't generate any sales, or there's definitely going to be a dip in revenue, and that's what I'm trying to prevent. So in this video, we'll talk about a ton of things. We'll cover the full spectrum. We'll talk about how to hit 50K a month, what my roadmap would look like, and you can take this, of course. I make no income claims. My results are not typical. I have to explain that. We'll talk about what's made this possible. We'll talk about the business model, what to offer, what niche, what to sell, how to go from 0 to 10K, and then 10K to 30K, 30 to 50K. Just stay with me. This is important because this opportunity won't last forever. People say that, but it's true just because of how quickly AI is advancing through these different stages. And and now's the time to really get caught up on this. I went viral for this the other day. It's not about me, but point being, it's because this stuff it's true, right? And it's making a lot of people a lot of money. So let's get into it. Why people are massively underestimating how easy it is to make 50K a month today. So besides the mental hurdles, right? Because I remember starting a business and thinking that 10K a month was like the pinnacle of business. And we all know how that number was being pushed, like in 2017, 2018 SMMA days. It was like 10K a month. And then if you hit 10K a month, you've made it, right? Here I was, had my business expenses were 10 grand a month. Like just my business expenses up until a week or two ago because of AI, right? Because I literally have canceled out 80% of the nonsense and the fluff that was in the business, and then I've had AI take over the rest. And so now my business is ran by AI employees. But point being, people think about, or sorry, I remember thinking 10K a month was like the pinnacle of business. And then the moment I hit 10K was right around the time where I stopped thinking 10K a month was a lot. Same thing with 20, 30, 40, 50, so on and so forth. And I can remember being in those shoes. It sounded difficult because in my head it was far away. So there's the mental piece, but also the fastest way to hit 10K a month, 20K a month, so on and so forth, is just to sell expensive stuff. It's to price your offers at a higher price point. And typically the biggest point of resistance is like, oh my God, okay, so what do I got to sell, or what more do I have to do to charge more? No, you don't got to do anything, my friend. Typically, and probably is the case for you, you don't have to change anything about your offer or your business. Just raise the price. Touch nothing else. Don't overpromise anything else. In fact, you should probably be scaling down if I had to bet, just from what I've seen. Raise the price. Probably double it. Probably, right? I had health and wellness coaching business. So I actually started with an AI education business. This was in 2023. I started selling $20 ebooks, and then I raised it to $50. That's a 2.5x, something like that. I don't know. My math is off. I more than doubled it. Point being, and then I went to, it was like $100 an hour one-on-one coaching or consultations, and then I went to $4,000 mentorships, and then the next business, the health and wellness coaching business, I did $2,500 offers. Then I raised it to $3,500. Point being, I was able to succeed through these revenue milestones way faster when I just raised the price and changed nothing else about the offer. And typically, you're going to be like, you're going to want to provide more service, so on and so forth. No. You just got to weed out a bunch of the nonsense, like broke clients that you don't want to be working with just by raising the price. And you don't got to worry about any of the other stuff. But it sounds hard to make 50K a month because of those mental hurdles. It's all mental. It's all mental. And once you're past this, and you gotta take the action before you believe in it. And that's the tough part. And so typically that person who can just like plug their nose or close their eyes and jump in the metaphorical cold shower of business, of doing things, gets all the money because they don't need to wait for the perfect time. They just go and do things. So just raise your price and let them say no. That's fine. You can take on less clients and you'll still be able to make more money. That's just how the math tends to work. Cool. So people are massively underestimating how easy it is to make 50K a month today because they're used to the fact that, oh, if I raise my prices, so first off, they're in their head, they're like, okay, so at my current rate of $2,000, I got to sell 25 offers, which means I got to close at a 50% closing rate. I got to get 50 booked calls. And typically people don't have 50% closing rates. It's more like 25%, something 20%, something like that. So you start seeing at a $2,000 offer, you got to book like, who knows, 100 calls a month. Like it's something, it's stupid. It's actually really bad, right? So you should raise the price, right? And there's things you can do on the front end to put yourself in a position of power and authority to be able to command higher prices. We'll talk about that later on. I've talked about that in other videos too. It's part of why being visible is so important. But if you raise your price, it shortens that distance between where you're at to 50 grand a month by a lot. And so if you already have a business, this typically looks like introducing a premium offer. It might look like a one-on-one situation. It might look like just adding bonuses on there that AI can go and do. For example, ascension offers. I was showing folks, I had a coaching program where I was showing folks how to create these big bundle offers. And, the fact that you can use AI to create websites. And I remember hosting a 3-day workshop. And literally, like a couple days after the workshop, one of the gentlemen makes a post in the little school group I had. He's like, hey, I just closed a $5.1 thousand offer. Ascension offer, by the way. So that's on top of the initial offer. So this is how people are making $7,000, $8,000, $10,000 plus dollars, just like that. Bundling things. And I can go into more detail, and I have in other videos with more examples, but point is you can get AI to do a lot of the work, like AI LinkedIn ghostwriting, AI branding, so things like that. But point being, you got to think bigger about your pricing, right? And don't think, and again, typically people think that when I raise my pricing, when you raise your pricing, you're going to have to do more work. No, AI is here, my friend. AI is here, and it never gets tired, and it doesn't turn off. So you're going to have to learn how to use this. Cool. I have also talked about this and shown this live in other videos. I'm happy to go into more depth in other videos if you want that too. Cool. But people are massively underestimated. They're stuck. You have very little excuse to not be over 50K a month. Like if you just keep at something for a good year, you have 6 months to a year. And again, my results are not typical. I can do this rather in a shorter time frame than that. And it typically looks like just posting, being super visible and talking about things that I'm passionate about and have expertise on, hence why I'm here. So a lot of stuff I'm sharing with you, I'm secretly doing in real time, but I guess that's not a secret anymore. Funny. Anyway, so what's changed that has made this possible now? Just how pristine and refined AI has become. Like, look at what's possible with Manus, for example. The fact that Manus is literally like, I can communicate with Manus through the app or through Telegram now because it has that implementation. They're also about to drop a WhatsApp integration as well. So you'll literally be able to text Manus in WhatsApp or in Telegram. And Manus has access to my Google Drive, Slack. When I use Slack, it has access to my inbox, my Gmail inbox, and a bunch of other things. And so I can be wherever on a plane, for example, and I can be texting Manus as though it's one of my employees and have it update the spreadsheet, so on and so forth, right? Like little tiny things like that. Cool. So it's right on the borderline of agentic. It technically is. It can design websites. It can do a ton of other things. But point being, like we're in that zone now where it's time to start thinking very differently about how we go about making money and how much of a bottleneck the founder you typically are in this whole process. Right? You're probably the number one thing holding your business back if you're doing anything less than $1 million, like $1 million a year. You're probably the one thing holding your business back. You don't need to go hire people. I know we're all excited and you might want to hire appointment setters and closers and so on. Just think very deeply about that before you make a move and pull a trigger. Because AI is it's right at the point where it's doing some serious damage, okay? And so because of this, right? Because AI can do so much, traditional business models, agencies in their traditional sense, for example, are becoming a lot less attractive, right? I can't speak for ecom or Amazon FBA, but I'm talking about like the big ones like the SMMAs and the AI agencies. Like these are becoming either a lot less attractive or a lot less efficient, right? A lot less efficient because like you got to go learn these new skills and every day there's a new way of automating things that people haven't thought of, and like honestly the real premium is what you know. The real premium is human connection and personality. That's the real premium. If you're going to build a business or if you're going to restructure your business to hit these levels we're talking about, you got to think about what is the one thing that AI cannot replace or that competition cannot replace. It's access to people. So it's not like you'll cut through because of who you are and what you know, but it's not the information that's the at a premium. It's access to you. Right. And so your goal right now, if I'm going to position you for success, is just to position yourself as an authority in your space. Literally, be visible. Right. Be visible. And so an AI powered lifestyle business looks like you only doing the one or two things every day. It feels very weird coming from working these really long days, but it looks like you just picking like doing the one or two things that actually matter in the business. So probably promotion, probably marketing material, probably posting content or creating content like this. And then letting AI think of the content ideas for the next round, letting AI look at the transcript and reviewing it and giving you feedback, letting AI use that to come up with more ideas, letting AI analyze all the transcripts, letting of your sales calls of the people you're attracting and see how that compares to what you said in the content to make sure there's alignment. Right? Letting AI look at your best clients and their questions and answers and pain points, and then using that to create content ideas. It's like this loop, right? Better content, more refined content, not necessarily viral, but just better, more dialed, hyper targeted content that then produces better leads, better clients, higher paying clients, so on and so forth. So stops becomes this guessing game, but for you now have eliminated 80% of the nonsense in the business. So like client fulfillment. If we're talking about AI cold email and AI outbound, for example, because that's a big part of how I came up on YouTube, and I have an AI marketing agency. That process is now almost entirely automated, right? So there's little to no time being spent on the fulfillment. The only thing I need to do, if ever, is take a client call or whatever it might be. But like in terms of reporting and all that fun stuff, literally AI does the whole thing, right? If let's see, I think I missed a key point here. Anyway, so I would summarize all this with the fact that businesses are going from traditional agencies, right, and like traditional bogged down fulfillment and hiring a bunch of VAs to help you with fulfillment. Like businesses are going from that to being one person businesses. So it's literally, this is how you know you're doing things right. When it goes from all these employees and being bogged down with fulfillment to being just you with your two or three employees being Manus, Claude, and ChatGPT, and you are working 2 to 4 hours a day, probably just working on content designed for your ideal client, and you have AI help you come up with the brand strategy and the content map and the content strategy and the marketing strategy, which is what we do for our clients, right? And come up with the specific titles that are super hyper targeted, can help you with the bullet points and structures of the video. You just execute, record, talk about the thing that makes you light up and knowledgeable, people bite into that because of how well thorough and researched it is, and then on the back end of that, you can help them through a transformation, right? And if you already have a business, you're doing done for you cold email, for example, it's time to think about a consulting offer, right? If like you, whatever it is, whatever done for you offer you're doing, it's probably time to start thinking about a done with you offer. Cool. And the important question for you to ask, and like I've said this before, but I'll say it again. The important question for you to ask is, if you could design your ideal life, what would it look like, right? And that's really where this comes from. Like let's be honest, you don't want to be bogged down with client fulfillment. Nobody really does, right? Like the only reason why you should be working north of 2 to 4 hours a day is if you're coding something, for example, right? In that case, just keep going until you're done. But really, if it were me, I would be spending all my time working on being visible, because that's the only moat. The reason why clients are getting so much harder to get now for traditional agencies and like traditional coaches and consultants is because there's so many of them. There's so many of these people. Like, you open up Instagram, how many ads do you get? How many ads for like this, that, the third do you get? You get a ton of them, right? I know I've spent tens of thousands of dollars just in the last few months on ads. The only way that you can make business easier, and I was just talking about this with a friend of mine and a client of mine. The only real way to make business easier is if you start working on building that moat, which is becoming visible. So now the smartest thing that you can do, my friend, is stop thinking about business in terms of how hard you can work, or stop measuring yourself as an operator, or as a founder or a business owner by how many hours you work, or how hard you work, or the intensity, and start measuring it by how you feel about when you operate in the business. I know that sounds cliche. I know, but it's true. It's true. Like, just think about it from this perspective, okay? There are so many people who do what you do. And so there's this plethora of options for your potential client to choose from. I know this because, people who reach out to me for assistance, they have been in many other webinars or on many other YouTube channels. I know this, right? And so with this plethora of options, the only way to really make the money you want and get the clients you want, and skip the line to $50K a month, is just to have is to have a ton of clones of you that are always selling. So that's the content piece, but also have all this leverage in terms of visibility and impressions and attention. You're getting this, and then let it funnel through the bottom, right? So think about this. Like, if you have a channel with 1,000 subscribers or 2,000 subscribers, let's just say you're getting 50 views a video or 100 views a video, right? If you think about the fact that, like, if you have an $8,000 offer, you only got to get one person out of those 100 people who keeps watching your videos, or those 50 people who keep watching your videos. There's probably one person out of those 50 that's really bought into you. That one person, or those two people even, right? I'm thinking super conservative right now. They both buy your $8,000 offer. That's 16 grand. You're already at 16 grand a month, or you've added 16 grand a month in revenue to your business, right? So this is when you start to understand, slowly but surely. My job is just to plant seeds in your head, but this is when you start to understand the power of, like, super targeted content that AI has helped you design, and how powerful a premium offer is, and how powerful selling your expertise is, right? And all this is possible because you have leverage, right? You can continue to produce the content you need to attract the right clients. You don't got to compete on price because they found you. I think that's probably one of the most important things I'll say in this video, is you don't have to compete on price because they found you. It feels like they found you, even though you strategically put yourself on their home feed because of how the algorithm works and the keywords and so on and so forth, right? And that goes into YouTube strategy, which I'm happy to get into in a different video. So now, as you think about this, you're probably wondering, okay, so what do I sell, right? How to start thinking about this is start by asking, like, what would you want, right? What would you want? What have you been through? What problems are worth solving, in other words, right? Typically, I have found a lot of great success with my offers by just thinking about what I would have wanted or looking at all the things I've had to overcome, right? So for example, I last year I started learning how to run ads, right? Now I'm good at it, but because I've been through this process so many times, I understood that, hey, if I ever wanted to help someone go through ads, it's probably important that I start documenting all the challenges that I have along the way right now. And so I opened up a note in my notes app and I started documenting all the difficulties and eureka moments and things that I was overcoming as I was learning how to run YouTube ads, Google ads, and Facebook ads. And so now I have essentially a roadmap for an entire curriculum if I ever wanted to help someone with ads, like in a very strategic and structured way, right? That other offerings or programs or YouTube videos didn't answer for me, right? And so look at the things that you have had to overcome. And it could be in your personal life. It can also be in your business operation too, right? So cold email. I have a very successful cold email program. And I have a bunch of eureka moments that really help me achieve success with cold email, like the fact that you gotta, like, volume is the number one thing, and this and that, the third. Start documenting those things and think about the things that you have had to overcome in whatever your domain or lane of expertise is, and literally write those down. Like, mark those down in your notes app or on a pen and with a pen and a notepad, and then feed that to AI. Feed that to AI and literally incorporate AI into everything you do, and have AI ask it to help you generate more points of concern or inquiry that a beginner would have, for example, you know what I mean? Or someone who's looking to overcome the situation would have, right? So literally help your old self is the easiest way to think about it. And this applies in a B2B context too. 1000%, right? So Spectre Agency, we help agency owners. And we have a done with you coaching offer, or we have a done for you, hey, we'll just do it for you. Right? We'll just do it for you. So traditional agency offer, but also we have a done with you / consulting offer that we're able to run now because I'm visible. Right? And so while a typical agency, and people are like, oh, why do you no, the agency is still there. It's just in a done for you offer. And you got to stop thinking about like one particular offer as the whole business. We have a done for you offer, and then a done with you offer. And the done with you offer might add a good 50, 80K plus on top of the done for you offer, right? It depends on if we still want to run the done for you offer. But point being, this is how you want to start thinking of business, because you can. Cool. So sell your expertise, price it at a premium, and then let AI handle all the rest. Let AI tell you what content you should be putting out. Let AI tell you how your content is matching up with the people you're attracting, so on and so forth. Cool. Where I really help people is with the structure of this all, and designing the YouTube strategy, the applications, the offers, the niches, content maps, so on and so forth. But this is really the high level, like what you're gonna get from these videos is the high level strategy and how to start thinking like a high caliber entrepreneur. Right? Because what happens is people rush into business and they get blindsided by something that they didn't foresee, and then they give up. And my goal is to help you succeed and help you start thinking, or help you succeed by thinking like a successful entrepreneur. Cool. Now let's talk about markets and niches. So what market should you go after? What niche should you go after? I wouldn't worry about this too much, and here's what I mean. So what's going to happen is you're going to take your iPhone, right? And you're going to start posting on short forms, so like TikTok or Instagram if you're smart, right? Or you'll start making YouTube videos, which is great. It's long term, so it's like 3+ months, 3 to 6 months onwards. And then short form if you want a shot at like immediate returns and virality, right? And what's going to happen is you're going to start talking about your area of expertise, right? So if you run an agency, you might start talking about, I don't know, your agency work, like I started doing on TikTok. Oh, how, the benefits of cold email, so on and so forth. And what's going to happen is you might not get any traction with that, right? There's short form strategy, and you might, there's long form strategy too, which I'm not talking about yet. But like you're gonna try and put out all these pieces of content. And then you might not get any traction. What you want to do is not be super married to anyone, like specific niche for right now. Rather, pick like 3 to 4 things that you're generally and genuinely interested in. And if you have a business, so if like my AI marketing agency, I would be talking about AI cold email. I'd be talking about AI in general. I'd be talking about AI businesses. I'd be talking about how to start AI business, so on and so forth, right? Like I'm talking about 3 to 4 like different ways or different like micro things under the general umbrella of what I do. And one of those things would catch fire. And I call this serving muffins, right? You're just going to try and see if you can do that again and figure out what was it about that piece of content that did well. Was it the big idea? Probably. Was it the hook? Was it the length of the video? But long story short, like you're going to want to try and serve that same muffin again or put out that same piece of content again. So I'd sort of let the algorithm tell me what niche I talk about best with the most passion and the one that people are most interested in. But point being, you should try 3 or 4. What you don't want to be married to is one just yet, right? Like one micro niche. Sort of, I would say this would be my advice. I would say spread it out. So what I'm doing with this content actually is I'm serving muffins. I'm trying this angle here, this angle here, this angle here. The other day, one of my videos took off and it was an outlier. And then I had another video take off, and then the other video does worse, and then this video does well, and then you're just serving muffins. And you're trying to, like, you're just leaning into whatever people enjoy best, and then you can still attach the other things to your offer as well, right? So that's the niche question. Like I see a lot of people be even within the context of B2B and AI marketing. It's like, oh, I only want to focus on staffing and recruitment, or I only want to focus on manufacturers. There's nothing that niche has done to warrant us being overly committed to them, right? So this is why I say just spread it out. Now, I mentioned this at the start of the video, but one of the big hurdles people face is pricing and premium pricing, right? Let's talk about why this is so important, because this matters a lot. So I mentioned that the first thing I ever sold on the internet that I made money on was $20 ebooks. These ebooks at $20, do you know how long it would have taken me to make 50 grand a month or 40 grand a month? Like I would have had to sell 2,000 of those ebooks, something like that, to have made $20. Is that the right math? Let's see. This is important. Yeah. I would have had to sell 2,000 of them. If I wanted to make 50 grand a month, I would have had to sell 2,500 copies of those ebooks. If you want to make 50 grand a month at a 5K offer, you only got to sell 10 of them, right? At an 8K offer, you only got to sell 6 and then a little bit, but about 6 of them, right? This is why it's so imperative, my friend, that you get used to charging more, or you figure out how to charge more by any means. I promise you, right? I can't guarantee you a lot of things because I don't, I'm not right beside you, and I'm not doing it for you. That being said, one thing I can guarantee you is there are a lot of people out there who are willing to pay. There are a lot of people who are willing to pay a lot of money. for your knowledge and expertise, and you helping them out, right? And I think a lot of folks who are like, there's folks who are starting businesses and folks who are looking to scale an existing business. The folks who are looking to start a business typically underestimate how valuable their experience is. Oh, I can't sell this. Nobody would want to do that, buy into this. Like, I haven't achieved anything of significance, and it's so untrue. And then the people, like, if you already have an existing business, you're probably underestimating how quickly you can create a premium offer, which is just your expertise, and how many people are willing to pay for it, like, right now. And if you just focus on being visible and creating a highly profitable and lucrative YouTube channel, for example, among other things, that you'd make way more money. You'd leap. You'd probably add tens of thousands of dollars in revenue to your business. But the thing is, a lot of people don't have patience. And you'd be surprised. Like, I've worked with a lot of folks, like in the 10K a month range. They were at this place, or they're at this place where they're doing a ton of volume. Because that's what it takes to hit 10K a month. So they're doing a ton of volume with these low priced offers. And you'd think that they'd want a better life, like they'd want to make more working less. But like, they don't have the patience to execute on a done with you offer for 3 months. Right? Because it's apparently supposed to happen faster. And like, these are the folks you're competing with, which is why it's laughably easy, right? You can sit in your office chair and sip tea and make more money than all of these guys if you just have some patience. That's literally it. Some patience and some consistency. Cool. And that doesn't mean working 16 hours a day. That just means like identifying what actually matters, which is the promotion, and then doing that. So if I could only sell one thing, what would it be? It would be a package where I probably have a group or one-on-one offer. So it would be guidance. It would be access to me in a group setting, one-on-one setting, and then I might attach some done for you offer at the end of that as like an ascension. But it's essentially access to me. It's essentially my knowledge. It's consulting at the end of the day. That's probably what I would sell. And then I can ascend to done for you. So I'm kind of cheating because it's not just one thing, right? But in terms of like the topic and the niche, should be the one thing that I can speak about forever, which is probably this. Probably business and coaching founders. And like the mental aspect of this all is like weaved into it, but really just helping them scale their business. That's probably what I would do. I can't speak what that is for you necessarily, but just think of here's the shortcut, okay? Write this one down. Or just let this live in your head. Think what is the thing that you can speak on, or the 2 or 3 things you can speak on for like half an hour. See how I do these hour-long videos? Ish, give or take, 20 minutes? I can do this for like 5 hours a day or 6 hours a day if I cared to. Like I can talk about business and business strategy and the founder psychology and mental performance piece behind it for forever. This is just who I am. So think about what you talk about, what you can talk about for a very long time. And if you need help with that, just look at your YouTube feed. Look at your YouTube feed and look at your TikTok or Instagram feed and just look at what you're consuming. That'll give you an idea of where your head's at. And you just, to build trust quickly, you literally just need to be you have to be more knowledgeable than people about things. More knowledgeable than not everybody, but the person right behind you. That's the difference. People listen to me, you have enough experience. You're good enough. How to build trust quickly is by making yourself visible over and over and over again. And as much as possible, for as long as possible. That's it. Other than that, I wouldn't be overly concerned about speed. I know this matters, but like you can either play the big game or the little tiny game. You want to do 50K 1 month? Optimize for speed and try and do this as fast as possible. Like there's an efficient way to do things, don't get me wrong, but like you don't want to be trying to like cheat yourself. If you want longevity in this, you're going to need to plant seeds, and YouTube videos are sort of like planting seeds, right? Being visible, period, is planting seeds. There's also something to be said about like where content is going, especially for business owners, entrepreneurs. And one thing I was very mindful of was the fact that, well, a couple things. First thing is the more time people spend with you, the more they trust you. So if you want to know how to build the trust equation, that's at the root of it. Hence why I do longer videos, or why I just go super, super in depth. Whether it's with a document, taking half the side of the screen or the entire screen, or it's just me. The second thing is most folks think that they gotta use super edited videos. And while that's nice and it might like optimize for watch time, I think it also takes away from the authenticity of it all. And now that we're in the personality era, we're in the trust business, we're in the people business, and you're selling access to you, people want the authenticity. They'll pay you for the authenticity more than they pay you for any sort of like, I don't know, some other like thingy, right? So that's how you build trust quickly. You just put out a bunch of content, unedited, and be just very authentic with it. Be very casual, authentic, and talk about the thing that you actually have knowledge on. And don't overcomplicate it from there. You'll be just fine. You'll be just fine. Cool. Now let's talk about packaging your expertise into a premium offer. So a premium offer is literally just an offer that is typically for your VIP clients or your best clients, and it's like triple. It's like 3 to 5 times, sometimes even 10 times what you're typically charging, right? So if I could go back in time, my health and wellness coaching business, I had a $2,500 offer, which later became a $3,500 offer. If I could go back in time, I would have had if I was starting from scratch, I would have had the $2,500 option. And then I also would have had like a $10,000 plus option. I would have had an $8,000 option and then a $10,000 plus option. For sure. Reason being is because, again, it allows you to skip the line faster, right? And I think people overthink the offer thing, especially because like of the $100 million offers, thing that happened. And while I love that book, and it's great to think about offers in that way, but people overcomplicate it. I would think of it from the standpoint of like, think about the kind of support that you would want. You can't go wrong from that lens. Think about the offer that you would want, and don't feel like you need to oversell anything, right? And that's actually shot a lot of folks in the foot, especially on the agency side of things. It's like, oh my God, we'll guarantee you like X amount in Y time frame, or I'll refund you double. And I've had offers like that. You don't got to do all that, and it'll probably lower your credibility. The nice thing about a lifestyle business is you don't have to overextend yourself, right? The nice thing about selling access to you is you don't have to do guarantees. There are no guarantees with done with you offers, right? It's just, you can put one in there, but like it's just dumb because you can't control how seriously people take things, right? You can't control that stuff. So in terms of packaging your expertise into a premium offer, I would say don't overthink that part. Cool. Now, if nobody knows who you are, you're a new or existing business owner, and nobody knows who you are, how you get clients is twofold. You want to have an inbound and outbound strategy. If you have a B2B offer, so you're selling to other businesses, not business owners, but like businesses, right? You're providing an offer to a business, like I'll paint your windows or something like that. You want to have an outbound offer, typically the best, or you want to have an outbound client acquisition system. Typically the best route is AI cold email. If you want to learn how to do that, I have like literally over 100 videos on my channel on how to do that. The other thing you want is an inbound client acquisition system. So that's when people reach out to you. So YouTube, right? By the way, when I say we make money on YouTube, I have to clarify this because I got a comment the other day. I make pennies on the dollar from like the YouTube platform itself, like AdSense and all. It's like at the time of recording this video, it's like $100 a month Canadian or something like that. It's I don't even look at it. I don't even notice it. When I say we make money from YouTube, it's clients coming who discovered me through YouTube, who then like click some link in the description, fill out an application, and then, we reviewed, then they potentially become a client. Like that's what I mean. Cool. So how to get clients? So you're gonna, so focusing on the inbound side for right now. You want to start planting the seeds with these videos like ASAP. Okay. Like I want you to start thinking about your business in quarters now. So not like 2 to 4 weeks or 6 weeks. Start thinking of it at a minimum in quarters, and then stack the quarters. So Q1, my goal is to just gain momentum. Q2, my goal is to hit this much. Q3, my goal is to do this. Like think about it in quarters. Cool. The tactics you can measure by month. Like the goal for this month might be to put out 15 videos or 10 videos or whatever it is, right? But if nobody knows who you are, you're gonna have to start planting the seeds with these videos. I would say describe your offer, your ideal clients, how much you want to make, so and so, like how much you want to charge. Give all that to AI because you're going to use AI as your business strategist, right? I like ChatGPT. I just do. And I like the others for other things. And let it give you some ideas for content. What you should also do, super pro tip, is look up the hottest or the biggest fish in your niche, or like the hottest piece of content in your niches on all these platforms. So on Instagram, just type in your niche. TikTok, just type in your niche. YouTube, type in your niche. Look at the best performing pieces of content and try and replicate those, i.e. just take the titles or take the what's happening in the videos, like let's say a Claude tutorial or something like that, and then make your own. Obviously it'll come out different. Cool. So that you're planting seeds. And if you want like faster inbound results, then that's going to come from short form. Full disclaimer here is like, I can't get in so much to like what to say in the content and like the format and structure of the content right now, because we'd be here all day. We're already like 40 minutes into this. Cool. Now, when I say I use AI to handle fulfillment, here's what I mean. So because we're selling expertise here, you also have your done for you offer as well, right? The done for you offer, I don't know what your business does, so I can't really say like how the AI should be integrated. Cool. If you're running an AI marketing agency, then there are automations to literally automate pretty much the entire campaign process, the reporting, so on and so forth. Like you still got to take your client meetings, of course, right? But the AI can handle the copy and the email copy, so on and so forth. When it comes to selling your expertise and access to you and the consulting offers in your lifestyle business, the nice thing is, like, you're getting paid for what you know, right? You're getting paid to advise and consult and to coach and guide. So like you really don't need AI to help you with your clients per se. Where AI comes into the picture is how can we use it to generate better content ideas, right? Like your entire business, as you can see, is shifting to the lead generation and client acquisition side of things. Like that becomes a business, and then after that, you really have no more work to do. Cool. Now, in terms of hiring people versus AI, right? Because you might be like, okay, so do I need to hire people? I think the only time you need to hire someone is like if you want to have some sort of customer success or client success element to your business, you want someone to handle like interacting with your clients, sure, you can do that, right? But like, like if you want to scale, like you can have a VA or a client success person. If you're seriously against taking sales calls, and I'd recommend taking all your sales calls, to be honest, by yourself, just because your closing rate is going to be so much higher, right? But if you are at the point where you are already getting sales calls, then of course you can hire a closer or something like that. Cool. I also think we're kind of just at the point, like we're moving to the point where selling over Google Docs is becoming more of a thing, and I like that a lot. Prospects like that a lot because it gets all their questions answered, and it's not this high pressure sales thing. I mean, my calls never are, but you get the point. Cool. Now let's see if there's anything else we gotta cover here. All right, so let's talk about the 0 to 50K a month path. What this is typically going to look like. I'm just going to assume that you are in the right space, you got the right people around you, and you're not going to be like, Pablo, I'm scared of charging 10K a month. I think no one's going to buy it. I'm going to hope that like I don't have to convince you, okay? I'm going to hope that you just decide to believe in yourself because you recognize it's a choice. Cool. So how to go from 0 to 10K a month, you just need to start, put yourself out there, and it's just pure volume. You're on the right path when you're attracting more sales calls. If you want to make this easier, put out content and put out more content. One good piece of content changes the entire equation. Please don't forget that. One good piece of content. One well-received piece of content, because you could have good content, but like the algorithm's sleeping on you, right? One well-received piece of content will solve all of your problems. That's what it did for me, and probably did for your favorite business people or creators on YouTube, TikTok, so on and so forth, right? So that's 0 to 10K. It's just volume, and then just sell 2 people a month on like a $5,000 to $8,000 offer. You can charge 10K too. No, like no, don't let me stop you. I'm just saying in general. Cool, but like feel free to go outside of this. Please, I encourage you to. 10K a month to 30K a month. You're going to be tempted to overpromise things. Like this is when you might start getting more clients. How you get here is by doubling down on the one thing that actually got you to 10K a month, which is content. Okay, so like at this point in time, I'm trying to figure, like if I were you, I'd be trying to figure out how can we replicate some of our best performing pieces of content while making sure that I still like to produce that kind of content. And I'm being very mindful of that. Cool. That'll take me from 10 to 30K a month, especially if I have a premium offer. At 8K, you only got to sell 4 of those, right? 4, and now if you're getting 100 views a video on YouTube, every video, you only like give it a few months, right? A few weeks to a few months. Like 4 of those people are going to convert every time. I can't guarantee. For me, okay, I'm speaking for me. People take this and like they baptize themselves with information that they hear from YouTube. I have to put a disclaimer. All right, my results are not typical, but you follow this, your chances are you're going to be in a much better position. 30 to 50K a month. Nothing's really changed. Nothing's really changed. This might take you a bit longer simply because we're doing more on the front end. We're doing more marketing at this point, right? But like now that I really know, and like I'm really familiar with this area of like 50 grand a month, It's the reason why I'm operating my business in this way right now. I'll just say that. It's the reason why you see me on YouTube so consistently. It's the reason why I have these long form, in-depth videos, unedited, raw. It's the reason why I speak the way I do, like with the passion that I do. It's the and then behind this video are like 100 other videos, right? It's the reason, like there's a very real, everything I'm telling you and sharing with you right now, I'm doing right now in real time. Like I've done twice over. The last 2 businesses I've scaled have both hit over 50 grand a month. And with what I'm doing right now, I'm doing this in real time. So this isn't like theory of what I would do. It's like, it's what I'm doing. And the number one thing that's going to take you furthest is, again, your time horizon. So last year, or at the top of 25, when I started my AI marketing agency, I've mentioned this before in other videos, but I was just like, okay, I'm going to post every day on you. You don't have to post every day, by the way. I was like, I'm just going to post every day for the next 6 months to a year and see what happens. And then naturally, because my time horizon was so long, I was just focused on putting out good content. I wasn't focused on rushing. I was just focused on putting out good content. And naturally, because I was putting out good, helpful content, I hit 50K a month in half the time. And the only thing I would have changed and done differently is I would have stretched my time horizon even further. And this is when you get the gurus of the world and the billionaires of the world saying, oh yeah, we think in decades, and the wealthy people think in, this is why. You get to, and it's like, there's a lot of things contributing to that train of thought, but for the context of this video, it's about building trust, and let the AI do all the grunt work. Your job now as a founder is to build trust. The only ways, again, I'm using AI are to help me as a founder be visible and take all the extra thought power that I might have traditionally been expending on like administrative work, for example, in the business, or content ideas and content strategy, so on and so forth. Like I would defer all of that to AI. Every single, like all that stuff that I hate doing, I'll defer complete to AI, to the point, in a way where like I actually really like the business. That would be my goal. If you optimize for that, if you optimize for a lifestyle, you're going to make the money. Now let's talk about this next part, and like don't let this be confused with fear mongering. I promise I'm not. I really couldn't care less. I'm just making an observation. I don't think this opportunity lasts forever. Ooh, cliche. Ooh. No, I'm being serious. Here's why. So we're at this really sweet spot where people have sort of figured out the YouTube algorithm and how it works, and YouTube and how to make good content and what people want. And AI is now in a place where it can help you handle all the other parts of your business. But most importantly, YouTube, I don't know if YouTube announces directly, but like I saw this on Patrick Bet-David's podcast. I'm pretty sure it was YouTube. But anyway, someone fact check me on this, please. YouTube is now supporting smaller creators. So the other day I just put out a video, and like I only expect my videos to get like 50 views. Not expect, but like I was like, oh, if it gets over 50 views, then cool. Because again, they're hyper targeted, right? 1 or 2 or 3 or 4 out of those 50 people equates to a significant amount of revenue. Not that I'm, that's my end all be all, but I'm just saying how the math would work for you. But YouTube is supporting smaller creators now, smaller entrepreneurs and smaller business owners. And if it's ever going to push you up, it's going to be now. So they were saying on Patrick David's podcast that Mr. Beast views are down. I don't know, however much percent. When I heard about that, I was like, oh, okay. It's go time, right? And everybody I know who's doing well, like insanely well in business, like a modern online business, has a YouTube channel, and they've probably been doing it for 3+ years. But like you can create your initial wave on YouTube in like 3 to 6 months, no problem, no problem. And there's more to be said about like, okay, clipping your YouTube videos and uploading it into short form and so on. So we haven't even got there yet, but like the AI what I used to do was I would have AI analyze a transcript and show me the most clippable points, but it's not super accurate yet. It's not super accurate, but like if I would leave you with anything, it's the fact that like these moments in time don't come often, right? And you should really consider making yourself even more visible, because you're probably not as visible as you think. And just know that like one of the best things you can do if you already have a business is to almost drop everything and start being visible. If you're dissatisfied with how much money you're making, be more visible. If you're dissatisfied with the kind of clients you're attracting, whether they're too stingy, they don't have the budget, they don't treat you well, they don't respect what you have going on, be more visible. Become more of an authority. If you want to sell premium offers and you want to charge more, be more visible and become an authority. The reason why, again, you can do that right now is because of what AI has allowed you to do, like in terms of freeing up your time. The way you grow and scale a business in today's day and age is completely different. It's not like before. It's not like before, and that should make you excited. So now my game plan in a nutshell, like 6 months left in the year, right? I'm recording this in July of 2026. My strategy, already being somewhat decent at content, right? My strategy would literally be what I'm doing now. I would post a long form piece of content as often as possible. My pace right now is I do like 3 times a week, something like that. And with really hyper targeted content. See what the algorithm likes. Try and feed it more of that. And I don't know again what your business is or what you offer, but like offer something north of $5,000 and do that for just keep doing that, and you'll be at $50K a month with whatever your offer is, or your business before the end of the year. You'll either be at $50K a month or you would have added $50K a month. Now I can't guarantee you that, of course, right? But like it's time to start thinking about what you're doing in terms of leverage. Measure each of the activities you do in terms of leverage. So like does this little activity I did, like does this updating the spreadsheet here, or like checking my emails here, like did that actually drive the business forward? Every action you do has to be geared towards getting more sales and driving the business forward. If you're not at $50K a month yet, everything else can wait. Everything else can wait. And what you will find is that like you literally have very little reason to be working more than 2 to 4 hours a day. That's it. That's it. That's it. And this is why I said like everyone like I had so I think about the testimonial Christian left me. It's on this channel, and he skyrocketed from 30 to 70K a month just doing this stuff, right? And in that testimony, he was like, yeah, it's literally just all math. You just got to divide how much you want to make by how many offers, or by a price point, and yada yada yada. But like, I think you might be underestimating how easy it is to generate this amount of money. You just got to know what to focus on. And when you're focusing on one thing versus 20 things, you realize that business just got way easier and way more enjoyable. And then you'll realize that all these business, all these business models, Pablo was right, and all these business models are leading back to lifestyle businesses where you just sell your expertise at a premium and have AI handle the operational burdens of the business, aka the things you don't want to do or be bogged down by. That's it. That's how I do it. And that's how I guide you to and advise you. See you in the next video. I'm out. Peace.